Seconds.
Okay.
Hello, hello. Welcome to Tiny Talk number 38, I believe. I'm pretty sure it's 38. Long overdue Tiny Talk with someone that whenever they're here, I always introduce them as one of the Mount Rushmore of the Tiny Stage. If they weren't around during that time, I don't know if this tiny stage would have been built and been supported by the owners and whatnots. Johnny Appleweed over here. Um, long overdue. Please help me in welcoming number 30, 38, 39, 38, 39.
Roughly.
The doctor, DM Rice.
Hello. Hi.
Welcome to the Tiny Talks.
Glad to be here.
Thank you for coming by, and I guess I'm sorry for how long it took for you to get here, but at the same time that people that are kind of like part of like the foundations of something, like they kind of stay in the background of things until there's a moment to kind of come out and say, yeah, I was
it's
part of
cool.
that too. You know?
I'm an underground artist, so I don't have expectations for being in the spotlight necessarily. I do my thing, and some people like it, or some people, I can find little touch points, and it's like you cultivated your interviewing skills. Been doing it all of these times. I get the kind of battle ready Carlos interview.
The battle ready. Oh yeah, yeah. You better be ready now. Yeah. Having said that, let's put that mic up to towards your face. There we go. Yep.
Is that better?
Oh
This
yeah,
sounds
much
more
better.
intimate. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I hear you now.
My podcast voice.
There we go. So you're someone that I consider the one of the Mount Rushmore of the tiny stage. A pioneer over here. When we were started this kind of endeavor, I guess, of live music. You were one of the first people that we were connected to.
It was like one of the first or second weeks.
Yeah.
And I had just come back from England, so it was a convergence.
Is that what happened?
Yeah, I think it was just around the time when I was returning from the UK, and
Yeah.
I had been gone for 5.5 years, and was just looking for places to play, in kind of open spaces, third spaces.
So it was just I want somewhere to play. They said, "Hey, we have a stage ish."
The biggest thing is that I got started playing. My first shows that I ever did were at the Generator, what is now Roslyn's. And I used to play there when I was in high school. The Generator is what it used to be called.
Oh,
and now it's called Roslyn's Coffee. But I used to play there every other month for several years, like consecutively.
Yeah.
I like to say that I got my start playing music, at least playing music live. I'd been writing songs for several years, but I had this like sociable group of friends who wanted, our original idea was to do a festival. We were all like 14 or 15. We're like, we're going to have a festival. We're going to build this huge thing.
Like a Woodstock type thing?
A little, yeah. We were all from Rowlett, so our little Rowlett Woodstock.
Nice.
And the only place that we could actually book was the coffee shop that was just there. And so I saw that there was an open mic on a weekend. I think the original was on a Friday too, around the corner from where I started playing. It felt like a homecoming. I was already coming back home from being abroad, but it was like, this is the most authentic place that I could choose to perform music, because it is where I got started as a musician in the first place. This is like full circle for me. And I tried along the way. After I left Dallas, I tried to play at the highest levels that I could. Always, when I was in Houston, we played in front of Days and Days, and I tried to get in the same room as Cottontail, and forced my way into whatever the best tier show that I could get into. When I was in the UK. I brought in the biggest artists that I could afford to pay to collaborate in a room or to do a show. And I played with Simon Joyner, who's one of my absolute heroes, right? But coming back, I was humbled, suffice to say. And it was like, I'm going to go back. I'm going to go back to the start. So this is... I mean, it's funny being a founding member of this because I felt like I was also a founding member of that Generator scene.
Yeah.
And we, built it, made it happen over the course of several years, just kept putting on shows. And it's a very similar ethos as the thing that's happening here. It's like the cooler adult version is kind of what it feels like for my purposes.
So you say like what's happening here? What do you mean by that?
Well, it's the openness of possibilities. The cool thing that you have going on, I guess, is in bringing in spaces or crossing over. It's like you're generating the space and you're trusting your patrons or musicians or the people who are coming in. Now there's a lot of pull from the Dallas scene, but I'm thinking about the really early iterations of the tiny stage where it was like, if you wanted to do something, if you wanted to express yourself creatively, there was this kind of new open space that didn't have a lot of the baggage that a lot of open mic culture in Dallas up to that point, or just the Dallas scene in general, this existed independently of that baggage. And there was this real sense of creative openness and creative freedom that is part of what drew me, I mean, to come back, for sure, and to be a mainstay and to put on my own events here and to try and build, to try and help in whatever way that I could to build the thing. And the little scene that you've got, I think that it's big enough to call a scene now.
I think so, right?
I'm pretty sure, yeah.
We were nominated. You have the little thing behind there. Yeah, we were nominated for the Dallas Entertainment Awards 2026, I guess, for a non-traditional venue.
It's the only thing I voted for. I think it was just like, I just voted for you guys.
Thank you.
Of course.
Man, all right. So with these interviews, I like to get to, because I see you all as having your own superpowers.
Sure.
And I want to know where they came from. So I want the origin stories, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the thing that I love about your music is your lyrics. The words. If anybody knows me for a little bit or has been around the tiny stage for a little bit, they know Y2K in the Apocalypse is one of my all-time favorite songs.
Right. And I'm so flattered.
And I love that song, and I love how it's probably because of different reasons than why you even wrote it.
For sure different.
Is it? All right.
Explicitly different. Yeah, we can go into it if you want.
All right. So Y2K and the Apocalypse, streaming everywhere.
Yeah.
As far as I know.
Yes.
I'm old enough to remember the Y2K era.
Me too.
I'm 40, pushing 43, 44.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like a 17, 18-year-old around Y2K.
Okay.
And I remember that whole craze about like, oh, the world's gonna end, and like, like all the craze, right?
Yes.
Y2K and the Apocalypse, the song that you wrote, I think it's on the Ezra Pound.
Yeah.
Right?
Ezra Pound LP.
Right? LP.
Mm-hmm.
I love that song because for me it was like, wow, it was like the technology's I'm sorry to us.
Mm-hmm.
Because as people say, like, as we advance technologically,
like the singularity, right? It's going to reach a point where it becomes untenable, uncontainable.
It destroys yourself, right?
Yeah.
And Y2K in the Apocalypse for me was like, it was like technology's like, I'm sorry, like I was trying to help you, if not for the thought of you,
right?
And the whole time, so like if not for the thought of you is like the sort of chorus until the very end. If not for the thought of me,
right? And it takes
and
on a
its
sentience or exists in its own,
right. For me, it's like that's the end. It's like I'm sorry, like I tried to help you. I didn't know it when we discovered to go into space that the
Hmm.
world will look so small.
Yeah. Or
I'm
that like
I'm I didn't know
technologies.
it when we created the radio waves or the mechanism to have radio waves that the their homes the songs would hide their home,
Hmm.
right? Like that kind of thing. Like, and it's if not for the thought of you, I'm sorry.
Hmm.
And then at the end, it's if not for the thought of me.
It's like them having that position necessarily requires erasing. To have the thought of me requires erasing the thought of you.
Right,
Negating the other.
right.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what technology kind of does to society. Tell me if I'm wrong, but like that's how I like take that song and like why like that song is for me is like such a freaking awesome song because I'm like, oh my wow, like I've never heard a song of technology saying I'm sorry for
Yeah.
destroying you.
No, I get that. I guess that
Because
the
for me, that's what it is. It's like it's
it's
my
very tangible for you, and I totally
total,
get that.
yep.
It's like a video killed the radio star interpretation
A little
of
bit.
that song. The origins of that tune come from somewhere else. I think that there are probably two simultaneous stories or strains that are kind of being interwoven. The first one, and I talked about this on a different radio interview, actually in the UK, with my good friend Nani. Shout out Nani.
Yeah.
It's called like "How's it going, folks?" or something like that. It was about the question of leaving England. Can you tell me what's worse now, to leave or to remain? And so,
Right.
staying abroad and living and struggling where I was along the southern coast of England and Brighton, or to go back, and it's like in order to be comfortable or in order to survive you have to sacrifice everything. That's kind of the surface text interpretation of it. My own Y2K and the apocalypse came from when I was a really small child, actually. I was nearly taken away from my family
Oh.
at 5-ish years old.
Yeah.
There was a big thing, I guess it was through CPS or something like that, but I got caught like playing doctor with another kid. I had to go to a psychiatrist. I don't
Here or
here,
or-
yeah, in
yeah.
Dallas. Yeah, I'm from Dallas originally.
Yeah.
This was in Garland, and it felt like my whole world was ending. I didn't know exactly what to do, but I used my intelligence, I used my wit. I tried to navigate the situation. No one was coaching me, but I did try and tell the person or the people that I had to talk to in the scope of this everything that I could possibly do to stay with my family,
Yeah.
because I was under the impression that those were the stakes. And this was, so I was born in 93, so this would have been 1998, 1999.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So right around the same time that this apocalyptic narrative is getting really popular and in vogue in the culture. And it's a story that I don't like to talk about, I don't like to think about, I push, and most of my life has been actively repressing this thing. The best songs always come from the places
I
that you
guess.
don't want to be looking into at once. But so I think the question of looking down on somebody while they're sleeping and like wanting to protect your like innocent childhood self, or imagining what it must be like to be the parent of someone who's going through that circumstance, is part of the real emotional subtext of that song for me, and the thing that comes to mind when I think of like what it is that's actually going on. It's an interesting theme, and I think a lot of my music is really cynical of the questions of like home, family,
Yeah.
stuff like this. When I talk about it in my music, usually it isn't very optimistic. In another Pilgrim song, there's the line, "This I know, what we call home is just temporary pain," right? And I think that Y2K and the Apocalypse was born from the same anxiety around like belonging and family and home, and the thought that like everything that you hold most precious can be taken away from you, and the fight in order to preserve those things may mean sacrificing something that's like indelibly a part of you.
Yeah.
It may mean having to hide or mask yourself. It may mean a lot of things, right? But that it is that our whole lives are held on the razor's edge, as the Somerset Maugham novel,
Yeah.
would say. And that's what I feel like that song is really channeling when I think about my own life and my own story. But the idea that these kinds of forces or power dynamics can be abstracted into something like technology or the government or whatever other kind of Freudian psychosexual,
Sure.
relationship that you want to draw from it
Yeah.
makes a lot of sense, because you wouldn't know that. You wouldn't know that,
Yeah.
these are the things that you wouldn't even have known that I had just come back from England necessarily, or that might be relevant. Because I wrote and recorded that in my last apartment in Brighton, if I'm not mistaken. I think I did all of the Ezra Pound songs in just like a really kind of short 2-week period, and then recorded them at about the same time. I was like, I'm gonna do this record. I'm inspired. I was thinking a lot about Ezra Pound, and so yeah, I don't like to take too much time.
Wow, that's kind of interesting to hear, because Y2K and the Apocalypse, as you know, for me is maybe important is too big of a word, but it's a big song.
I think
for me.
important is absolutely
For-
appropriate.
For
I
me,
mean,
it's a big song, because the picture that it paints in my head, I'm like, oh my god! I was like, yeah, like he's. This is what's the basic story that we advance as far as we can technologically until it destroys us. We destroy ourselves.
yeah.
With the technological advancement, whatever. And this is like the song that I've never heard before. That for me,
Channel
Y2K and the
something
Apocalypse
really-
is technology's. I'm sorry.
Mm-hmm.
Like, hey, like, I was just trying to help you.
Yeah. Well, and the
If
through
not
line,
for the thought of me,
the through line is
if
this
not for
sense
the thought of you, right? Like,
this sense of like powerlessness.
Right.
Even you're
But-
trying to create something.
not
You're
even
trying to build
powerlessness, but
something.
is that like they're man? This is.
But could we stop the
I'm trying not to get
advancement of
emotional.
tech?
No. Tech is it's not a thing of tech for me.
Hmm.
I'm trying not to get emotional, because
Please.
for me it's a different kind of thing, where it's like damn you, Katie Day, local
I love Katie Day. I know her.
you know Katie Day, yes.
Yeah, we've become friends.
Has
I hope.
been pushing me to write a song that I want to write, called the Lighthouse.
Okay.
But in thinking about that, though,
Mm-hmm.
this song for me is really interesting. Where it's giving me different perspective on things. That yes, I'm older. I was alive for 9/11 and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But hearing these kind of lyrics of a different personality, kind of reflecting society.
As it really is, as opposed to how it pretends to be.
Right.
Yeah.
And Y2K and the Apocalypse, for me, why I love this song is because it's like I've read and I've heard about all these stories about futuristic societies kind of like evolving, and then there's a nuclear war and there's whatever, right?
Right.
But this one is like, for me, Y2K and the Apocalypse is technology's I'm sorry.
It's the emotional.
I was
yeah.
trying to help you. I was
Mhm.
trying to help you. If not for the thought of you,
Right.
I was trying to help you, and then it ends up how it ends up
Mhm.
always, right?
Mhm.
So yeah, I don't know where I was going with that, but just I love that song, and that's why I kind of started off with this podcast with that
That's cool.
your
Yeah,
song.
and I'm glad to be able to tell you the story. I think I've mentioned it sidewise on stage a couple of times, but I can tell how much it means to you, and I've seen you play it enough times. I feel like I should make a part 2 for my help video because I can see little things, and it's like,
And
oh,
thank
I
you
can
for
help
that.
you. Of course, yeah. I've given you the chords, and I think that there's something in the playing where you want to lead with the guitar playing, and actually that song, and it's one of the few songs that I have that's like this. You can kind of be washy with your guitar hand, with your right hand especially, and it's carried by the vocal melody.
What do you mean washy?
Washy, like loose.
Yeah.
All you need to know is like when you're transitioning, but everything else in between can kind of be fluid.
I'll tell you, the only thing that I'm worried about is that like that's the only thing I'm
And the
worried
D
about.
minor in
That's
the
it.
chorus, I've seen you flub
The
on
D
that a
mi-
couple
yes,
times.
yes,
Yeah. No, and that's cool.
That's
Like,
valid.
like I said, I've been listening. It's my song, so I know it.
Yeah,
I know
yeah.
it well.
I get it.
And I see you on the live streams, and it's like I can get you there. I know that I can get you there, because it's really interesting. And I've got a few songs, and sometimes I like to be really really strict and really meticulous. And there's some songs where it's like the chord changes don't even have to be consistent. It's like, or I can just go between 2 chords and just let it be fluid and in the moment.
Yeah.
I think Y2K, the chord changes are really precise, but the strumming pattern isn't really precise, I guess, is kind of the thing that I'm hinting
It
at.
isn't?
I mean,
It seems like it's pretty like
I think that it's like, there's a weird
I don't want to
loose-
say basic. That sounds bad, but
there's
like,
a looseness of timing. I guess that.
exactly. But like I can kind of like riff around it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and the riff that you have in your head and the one that I probably put on that chord, it's like I was kind of retroactively building, because it's like most of the time I just make it up. It's different every single time. The riff isn't the same. I've started to do it more
But
similar because of the effect that it's like, oh, well, Carlos is going to want to hear this song. He tells me that he likes this riff, so I've got to, keep that in. But, to your point, it is melodically very basic. And I think that the rhythm is, I mean, it's basic enough, but there's something where it's like, I don't know, it doesn't have very much like open space or something like that, right? It's like there's a lot of it's always moving, and so
We can do a whole lot more if we want to.
yeah, I don't know. It's hard for me to imagine rearranging it much differently, but I am gonna make a nicer, neat new recording for you. I was gonna want to record it here. I know that I have some tape somewhere in the archives
For
Y2K.
for real?
Yeah, I did it on the 8
No,
track.
I'm saying like, you want to do something new here?
I was thinking about recording. I actually brought all my stuff, my interface. I
Holy
was thinking about
shit.
because we were talking about recording a split here today, me and my friend Markel's band, and then I was like, well, maybe I could just come up and do a few songs, because I'm recording the Fiddler on the Roof record that I'm doing right now.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that's my
Yeah.
new project, and so I'm starting the recording phase. And usually I like to just stay at home and kind of do my own thing.
Yeah.
I'm talking with Rennis out there and doing a collab, and I just thought, it might be cool to do a couple of random songs. Even just recording in a different room gives you a totally different
Hell yeah.
experience. Or there's like, I don't know, equipment. You can do X, Y, and Z things. I haven't, done anything in this studio besides the one
That's what
or
the
2
Beehive Studio's
sessions.
about.
But
Yeah.
yeah,
Hell
yeah,
yeah.
it's at least on my radar. Suffice to say, we're on each other's radar very squarely,
Nice.
which I think is, how we ended up doing this thing in the first place.
Oh yeah. Wow.
Hmm.
What an honor to be considered for that.
Well, I appreciate that. You're, like I said, very kind, and I don't take it for granted.
So, all right. So, I think we were talking about how somehow getting into Y2K and the apocalypse. I guess. So yeah. So for me, that song, as I told you, was kind of like Technology's "I'm Sorry for Killing You."
Mm-hmm.
But what was that for you? This song.
Y2K?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was a way of processing having to decide to stay or go. And like I said, what was kind of happening with like my
Like in
family.
England.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the question of like my family situation. Yeah. When I was a little kid, just having the like awareness of that you can be taken from your family. Like you have to learn that. Kids
Really?
don't like naturally know that.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I didn't know what CPS was or whatever it is,
Yeah,
and I'm glad
yeah.
that nothing ended up happening, but it wasn't because of the generosity of the system. It's because I took it upon myself to have the wherewithal to navigate that situation in the way that I thought would protect me. And I was really young. I was like 5 or 6, like I said. And so,
Really?
yeah,
Ugh.
yeah.
Sorry, I had to gather myself.
No,
Realizing how old I am now.
no, it's cool. I was born in '93, so I'm 32.
I was born in '82, so
Oh, yeah.
I'm a good decade away from you.
Yeah. But I remember Y2K and I remember 9/11, both really vividly.
You
know?
do?
Yes.
9/11.
Yes. I
You must have been a baby.
I was in 2nd grade.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I was a baby. And they didn't. A lot of people got sent home from school.
Were you in England or?
No. I grew up in Dallas.
Okay.
When I was a kid, a lot of people thought that my grandpa was from England because I used to talk in a phony baloney accent. I used to have like a different accent every year. I would do
Really?
this thing as a kid. Yeah. I don't know. I was always a little weirdo, but yeah, I talked with a phony baloney British accent when I was in 3rd grade. In 2nd grade, Y2K happened, or 9/11 happened, and yeah, I remember we weren't sent home from school, but when we got home, I saw it on TV, and my parents came home early, and we were supposed to go swimming that day. And we're like, we can't go in the pool in our neighborhood in Rowlett because we were all so afraid,
Yeah.
It was a very visceral thing. I know you were a little bit older, I guess around 21 or so. But
I was 18.
at 9/11?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
Across the river
Mm-hmm.
in Jersey.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Hmm.
That's why, like I'm, whenever I hear stories about other people, like, especially like far away from Jersey, like how it affected you guys and how
Right.
it's kind of wild for me,
Mhm.
because and for me too, it's a different kind of story. If you tuned into the previous Tiny Talks, I talked about this a little bit, but I had a graphic design class from 8 a.m. to 11 a.m. that morning, and 9/11 happened like about 9 a.m. So I was kind of like in class during everything.
Right.
So I walked into class pre 9/11. The world is. It was the most beautiful freaking day, by the way. Like, this is Jersey, right? Like you don't really have like days where there's no clouds in the sky, where it's like beautiful blue, like like this beautiful freaking day.
Mm-hmm.
9/11 was that freaking day. It was freaking gorgeous outside.
Could you see smoke or anything where you were?
No. So, okay, so I went to Kane University.
Mm-hmm.
It's considered a commuter school. There are some dorms, and I think now it's kind of bigger.
Sure.
But the idea is that you drive there to go to school there, and if you have an 8 a.m. class, you want to get there like at 5-6 a.m. because of parking. Because you can be stuck with parking that is like half mile down the road, and like in like October, it's cold. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So it's all about the parking. And then you get there early enough, and there's like tailgating, like there's people like making breakfast or whatever. That's so they'll chill, whatever. So that morning, it was a beautiful, gorgeous morning. Like it's weird that I remember more how beautiful that morning was
Then kind of the aftermath.
than everything else.
yeah,
Right?
yeah.
But it was like wow, there's like no clouds in the sky. That never happens.
Mhm.
It's crazy. We're tailgating, we're having breakfast or whatever. Radio report comes on. Hey, a plane hit one of the Twin Towers. At first, it was we were told it was like a small Cessna plane. No big deal, whatever. Okay, about 8 a.m., 8:30 a.m. My class was from like 9 till like noon. It was a long ass class. So when I get in there, the only thing that I've heard is that a small plane hit. No big deal, right? We open the door to get out of the place, and it's like you see the chaos. These people running around, like, what the fuck's going on? Like, you didn't hear? Like,
Yeah.
the Twin Towers, what the fuck? We go to the student center, and we see all the replays, and I was like, fucking for real? I'm not going to get into the conspiracy stuff, but, like for me, I was like, wow. In 2
Right.
hours,
Yeah.
they felt pretty nice.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it was pretty uniform.
Seamless. Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. Okay. But yeah, we didn't have cell phones back. I mean, we had cell phones back then, but it wasn't like we have now.
Yeah. It wasn't ubiquitous.
I remember picking up my father from the Liberty Park because the Statue of Liberty, believe it or not, belongs to New Jersey, and that's where the only form of transportation out of the city was ferry. So I was on the other side of that island. It's kind of weird. Like Liberty Park is where Ellis Island is.
Yeah.
Where at least when I was a kid, we were always brought there to kind of like learn of the first immigrants to the country and everything.
Mm-hmm.
And that was the only place that we can get people after 9/11.
That is an interesting.
It was kind of wild and
little
like
parallel.
seeing all the smoke, yeah, the background.
Right.
Yeah, it was kind of wild.
I'm sure.
Yeah,
That's crazy.
yeah, but that's why I guess I say all that to kind of wrap it back around. Why I love Y2K and the apocalypse because for me it's like wow, it's a weird what would you call it? Not a microscope, but like a different interpretation of that era. Because we heard of the Y2K era, how like we were all scared about like for some odd reason, because everything went to 000, we thought that
Right.
the planes were gonna like fall from the sky, and it was all
That technology wouldn't work, and
all this crazy stuff, right?
Yeah.
And then 2012 was kind of similar.
that's when I graduated high school. That was our class motto was "Party till the end of the world."
Till the end, right? Not for nothing. We had Prince. 2000 party over. Oops, out of time. Right?
Oh man.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I just love how you had that song and the interpretation of it. For me, I know it's not the interpretation that was probably intended when you wrote it.
Right.
But for me, that's how I freaking take it. That it's like this kind of like technology is I'm sorry.
Well, it's cool. I mean, I never know what a song
And
means
for
at
that
first.
reason. Like I think it's the best song ever.
I'm always just channeling it. The universe. What is Bob Dylan has that line? It's like the universe wrote those songs. I was just the medium that they came out. And I think Y2K is one of those songs where it feels way bigger than me. Right.
Yeah.
It's playing with these really large scale symbols. It's got a lot of abstractions.
But so simple as far as guitar playing. I can say that for myself because the whole purpose for me was trying to learn how to play it.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, oh wow, yeah, it's not hard to play it.
Yeah, it's I mean it's one of those things in being like a folk musician where most of the bread and butter of what you're working with, your first lesson and your last lesson are going to be surprisingly similar. And that, it sits on the C4, that F in the C that I've been playing with that a lot more and had been playing that more when I was in England. It's not the simplest song in my catalog. If you played that as like an F, even still, it would, kind of run in that scope. But I feel like it's deceptively simple. Everything about that
Yes.
song is deceptively simple. To your point about
Deceptively simple is
Yeah.
the best way. Because I was like,
The
oh yeah,
timing
it's
is a
just,
little
it's just
bit
2 chords.
weird.
But no, you have to have freaking hand strength.
one,
Like
two,
my hand hurts like halfway through it, and I'm like,
One,
I
two.
just freaking fly through.
I don't know what the timing is. It might even just be 4/4, but something about the timing of that song is a little bit quirky.
Really?
I mean, I can't say for sure. My brother is the one with the music degree, but as a
What?
yeah, my brother
You're
is.
not?
My degree is in creative writing. My BA, I got a master's in the avant-garde and then a PhD in creative writing again.
No shit.
Yep, never did a music degree, never took a class.
wow.
I took music classes, but they were always like music appreciation, listening to music, jazz. I took a history of hip hop course, but I never did like a course where I mean, I played music. I did classical guitar in high school, and I did orchestra in middle school. My first instrument was the cello.
Your first instrument was
The cello.
No
yeah.
shit.
I started playing when I was
Wow.
12. Around the same time that I started guitar, that I started being a poet and started writing songs.
Why? Why?
Because I couldn't hold a violin right. I wanted to be in the orchestra. I don't know why I chose. I went to an arts magnet because I was following a girl. My elementary was a science magnet, but I was in love with this gal named April, and she was going to go to the arts magnet. And so
Okay.
I was like, that's what I'm doing. I'm going
Right.
to go. I don't think that they had to wear uniforms. There were a lot of like appealing things that,
Right.
12-year-old Derek was like, yes, this gal's going. I'm not going to have to dress like everybody else. And so I got there, and it's like, I had interest in art and in music, but I didn't want to do choir. It still makes me uncomfortable just thinking about it. Band didn't quite seem the thing. I got toured around to all of the different arts things. I also did football and soccer.
Really?
Yeah, I was a center. I was a sweeper. Yeah, my dad used to call me the general. I was a really serious defender, actually.
Oh, I'm stopping myself. Because
Yeah.
he said the word soccer, so I'm trying to do that.
But orchestra was the art elective that really gelled with me the most.
Yeah.
And so I did. I played for 3 years, and the orchestra teacher at Austin was married to the guitar teacher at Garland,
Okay.
at Garland High. So Steve Howell is the guitar teacher at Garland to this day, and his wife, his partner, Mrs. Howell, was my cello teacher. And so when I did classical guitar at Garland, I got to start with guitar too, because I
Nice.
had learned how to read music, I had some string experience, and I've had at least had a guitar in my hand for 3 years.
Yeah.
So I was basically at guitar 2 level. So I did guitar 2 and I did guitar 3 at Garland, and those are the only music classes that I ever got. It's not super sophisticated.
Ever? That's it?
Well, yeah, besides like pickup lessons, I had a few pickup lessons in the piano with my friend Sahar, and I did one vocal lesson with someone that I dated in college. But that is the extent of my musical training.
Huh.
Yeah, which is how I ended up a folk singer instead of some kind of jazz fusion, blues maestro. Oh, it's like, actually, let's keep it simple. Let's keep it in the lines. My brother is a jazz musician.
Okay.
My brother went to UNT and
Okay.
has just been accepted for a PhD program in Rochester.
Wow.
Yeah, he did his BA and MA at UNT for like jazz performance, and he's going to Rochester to study, I think, performance again.
Wow.
Yeah. So in upstate New York, and he's getting a cushy scholarship package. He's the more professional musician. He plays like, the Sundance Square in Fort Worth?
No.
So it's like a big open square in downtown Fort Worth. They bring in these big bands,
Mm-hmm.
and they play there almost every Friday. They've got live swing dancing and all kinds of stuff.
Nice.
And my brother is like, they call him in sometimes to lead that band.
Oh, wow.
Not just to conduct it, but also to arrange all the music, to get all the people in the room.
Wow.
And he does it. He's got the contacts. He knows everybody. He organizes
Just for
really,
fun?
really. No, I mean, he gets paid for
Oh,
it.
good.
It's organized by the
Good.
Bass family. They can pay him something.
Good.
Yeah, and he has perfect pitch. Oh, it drives me crazy. I think it's because he got tubes in his ear when he was really young.
Yeah.
He was a really sickly kid, and so they had to install tubes in his ears, and now he has perfect pitch. And I'm like, it's one of those prosthetics, you know, when they had those prosthetic
Yeah.
legs that make you run faster than
Yeah.
regular people. I think that
Like
he
Forrest
has,
Gump.
yeah. I think that he has that in his ears, and so now he's got perfect pitch, and he's this jazz musician, you know, legend, and you know, whatever the case is. And
Well, excuse me, but you're a bit of a legend now
well,
around here.
well, I appreciate that. I'm just.
I mean, you are.
I'm a humble folk singer, you know.
A humble folk singer.
I'm a not humble folk singer, whatever the
Yeah.
case is.
No, yeah. So, with these interviews, I love to get to the
Like
to
where it started.
the origin stories,
Mhm.
right? And the thing about you is your lyrics.
Yes.
At least what resonates with me.
Mhm.
Aside from all that, too, you're someone that I consider one of the Mount Rushmore of this stage, this whole initiative.
Like a founder, yeah.
You were one of the founders, the very first open mics.
And thanks for letting me organize here.
No, thank you. Like it for me, it sounds strange. People telling me thank you for things.
Mm-hmm.
Because you're doing so much more for me than I think I'm doing for you, really.
Well, I appreciate that.
Um,
But I think you've gotten my name in front of people who wouldn't have heard it otherwise, right? I mean, even if it's just people at the store,
well, so
and it's not.
that's kind of where I wanted to sort of start was that we started off this tiny stage initiative or this live music initiative with a couple of open mics, and I booked a couple of people to be sort of featured artists, and you're one of them.
Sure.
So, tell us how you even heard about us, because I don't think I reached out to you. I think you just
No, I came here.
yeah.
I think it was through Facebook.
Yeah?
I'm pretty sure. Yeah. So if I
Just-
don't have
just-
anything to do on a weekend, I'm like, what's going on Facebook? You know, what are events that are happening? And I don't think it was an event, but there was some kind of indication of an open mic. And that's how I remember finding out about it. And I've always been a little bit back and forth about open mics, you know, as a performer, especially because
How come?
well, for two reasons. I started out playing my own shows, like booking my own shows.
Right.
And they were all like, we chose who played, got 30 minutes. It was about us. I really liked that. And I did it for a long time. And I've always, like I said, I've always wanted to progress to the next step. And over time, I found that the culture of open mics, especially in England, always felt like it was more exploitative, that it was exploiting the musicians more than it was benefiting them. In England, I saw the same musicians play the same watering holes week after week, and none of them ever progressed. Nothing ever happened from it, you know, and these venues were making money. They were charging for drinks. You know, it was free to play, but it wasn't really free to play. And as a folk musician and a vaguely political person, I've always been a little bit, I've always felt a lot of tension or opportunities that you have to pay for. Dallas, in the old scene, before you ever broke into Dallas, all of the opportunities were payola. Basically, you had to sell tickets, you had to buy, you know, rent the space. If you couldn't sell tickets, you had to pay for the difference.
Right.
I talked about this at the Music Over Drinks interview. At the door, when you bought tickets to a place, you had to put a chalk mark for which band you were there to see, and that's how they did venue splits back in the old days. And so I've always been really kind of back and forth about open mics and open mic culture, but this was a new space. I like that it was at a dispensary. I didn't know anything about it, but it was right where I started. And I was like, this is going to be just like going back, because I know Garland. I know the kinds of people who hang around downtown, or it's like artists who are kind of vaguely doing that thing. I wanted to go, and I don't know, it was nostalgic. It was nostalgia that was my primary motivator. I was born in the city of Dallas, but I grew up in the suburbs, and there's a part of me that's always, I don't know, more of a townie than I try and let on.
Yeah. I totally get that. totally get that.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, that's how I found out about it, and I found it, you know, for the stuff that I do. It's like not for everyone, like explicitly on a good, in my like best. I feel like if it's a crowd of people who don't necessarily know me, I can for sure be appealing to like a quarter of it. Like they'll love it, they'll want to do it, or maybe there are 2 or 3 people. And a lot of the music that I make is really, it's really heavy, it's really dark, it's really introspective, and a lot of the times that isn't something that people are really comfortable with, or you get treated differently after you play, or people are weird to you, or you can just tell that it's like, this is not the right space, this isn't the right context. And I never felt that way here. You guys welcomed me, treated me better than I could have ever asked for or expected. And I, again,
And we love that kind of feeling. Like if you're giving us that kind of different feeling of like, different than what we were expecting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I freaking love that shit.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, and I can tell. Or else you wouldn't have asked me to even showcase that first time, because there was some. I don't think that I played really like over the line or anything, but I feel like if you're not being generous, even a really like kind of mainstream song as such, like "Outskirts of Austin." I don't know if you know it off the top of your head, but it's got a little Sidewise drug reference, and the way that I like to play it at the end, it's like it almost has the energy of a panic attack. Even this is one of the most poppy songs that I have in my repertoire, and it kind of has that energy of like, is this okay? Is this person okay? Is there something wrong? It's an unraveling, which is why I got the degree in the avant-garde. It's just like, actually, I want to be able to have the language to say that it's like, no, this is all on purpose. This is all art, and it's art that's trying to achieve a specific performative goal. But it's not the thing that most people, especially most people in Dallas, are trying to do when they're going up. And so, third spaces like this are really essential for being able to give artists like me the place to operate outside of mainstream genre norms and expectations. That's my take.
So these songs, are they more for the other local artist, or are they for the listener?
I don't know. I think they're for me.
Not that. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, when I started writing songs, to get to your question or point about wanting to go into origins, I did it because I had like feelings that were kind of too big for my head. And it was just like a way of processing, I've got this crush and it's unrequited and I'm fucking dying. It's like too much for my little 13-year-old brain to take. And eventually it became a craft. And
how did you release that tension? Because when you said my little 13-year-old, and I know it, for some odd reason, I brought myself seriously right back to when I was 13 with my first girlfriend and the whole thing.
I had about the same hair when I was that age.
I had better hair, believe it or not.
I believe it. I can.
And now I'm bald. No, but I'm really curious about like what makes you, I guess, go back to these memories, but like feel a need to kind of like process them for us. You know what I mean?
It was this guy, Bright Eyes. That was the
Bright Eyes.
That was really the turning point for me. I found out about them by accident when I was 13. My friend told...
They're a band?
They're a band, yeah. They're from Omaha, Nebraska.
Okay.
And they're the biggest influence on what I do and why I do it the way that I do it. Yes, absolutely, bar none. Some would say the sole influence, but that's not really fair. It is definitely the biggest influence on my performative style, my lyrical ethos, and my musical value system. And I found out about them by accident. I had a friend who said, hey, I saw this really great music video. It's like about a clown. There are a bunch of clowns in it. And, you should find it. And that's all that I had to go on. And this is in the early days of YouTube, so I looked up like
Yeah.
clown music video, and I didn't find the video that I was looking for, but I found this band, Bright Eyes, and they changed my life fundamentally. And I
By
like
accident.
by accident,
Wow.
pure coincidence.
Wow.
Yeah, absolutely no rhyme or reason to it. And I found that they spoke like uncomfortable truths in a way that was really compelling and really emotionally resonant. They sang about things that other people would be too afraid to, or that I had never heard people sing about in the way that they had, like suicidality or like an unglamorous substance, relationship, like that wasn't in a kind of cheesy, grungy, or post-alternative rock aesthetic, and just like being able to sit in your emotions and process it. Really, really profound
Yeah.
questions of like existential angst and God and like social belonging. And I think that I've only recently been able to like articulate the values that I want to be able to like identify with, and what makes me different than like someone who's doing Stevie Ray Vaughan cover songs at an open mic, right?
Yeah.
And the really operative thing that I have thought, or the way that I've thought to articulate it in this tradition of this Omaha band, is that I don't want to project desirability, right? I think a lot of people are like, if I can go up on stage, I can be a rock star, and then other people are going to want to be like me, or other
Yeah.
people are going to aspire to be like me, or I'll be able to achieve this like really cool space. People are going to want to bone me. People are going to want to give me drugs,
Right, right.
And it's like, that is the opposite
Yeah.
of what I want. It's you could think the aphorism is like, art should comfort the disturbed and disturb the comfortable.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
that is a lot closer to where my kind of like ethos is. It's like, I want to be able to take these experiences that I've had, and like it's been processed in this way in order to, well, it's the thing is, it's like, I don't know what happens after that. I just know that it's like, this is the thing that I've made, and I've been doing it for so long, and being an artist is my whole identity at this point. But I'm not doing it out of a sense of expectation. I'm not even doing it for like success in the kind of traditional artistic methods, because making the thing is the success, and being able to play it is a privilege. And it's about finding the kind of right ways to curate that space. And
Sure.
I guess that's the kind of interesting and complicated question, is how did Be Hippie kind of become that?
Yeah.
Because it is, in theory, all things to all people, or it is what the people who
And
are
you have
doing
all
it
the access to
can,
everything.
make of it.
Yeah.
I mean, I have some access, but less than,
I'm saying here, like,
yeah.
even as the more popular that we get,
Well, I've got this long-standing relationship
like,
now.
we
Yeah.
have access.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
If you're like, oh yeah, I want to get in contact with this certain kind of writer, but yeah, I'm sure we can kind of get you there. You know
Sure.
what I mean?
Yeah. Well, or like, oh, let's do Deep Ellum Art Fest on a whim, which I went to
Right.
when I was a kid. And so that was a really
Really?
big. Yeah, I used to go
Oh,
there when I
wow.
was a little adolescent. Yeah. I have a painting somewhere that I bought from the Art
No
Fest
shit.
when I was 17 or 18 years old. And so you asked me to play, and I was like, yes.
Yeah.
Yes, I've been wanting to
Oh.
do this ever since I was a child, Carlos. You
That-
don't even know that you did that for me.
That for me is like freaking everything. Like, I don't need pictures or photographs, whatever.
Sure.
Like frame, whatever. That for me is everything. So like hearing your story, and I hate to freaking bring it back to my soccer things.
No,
I'm
it's
sorry,
cool.
people that have listened to this trying to talk a lot.
I know, I really
But,
egged him on.
No, but it's a really similar kind of trajectory
Mhm.
that they took and tried to take. And for me, my motivation was just like, man, I have somewhere to bring that to you.
Yeah.
I'm here.
Well, I think that
whatever it takes, whatever.
I couldn't be the songwriter that I am if I didn't have that soccer experience. It taught me some things that are like me, for better or worse. It taught me competitiveness. It taught me to want to be the best.
Yeah.
Like, I don't just want to songwrite because it's fun. I want to be the best songwriter of my generation.
Yes.
And that competitive instinct, that drive to want to be better than it is possible to be, comes directly from sports. And, you know, in my other forms of creative writing, I think it's very much present
Yeah.
there too. I was a sprinter. I ran the fourth
Really?
leg of the relays at my middle school. I played every single down of middle school football and
No
one
shit. Wow.
down of high school football before quitting. I was
Wow.
a good athlete. I was very physically aggressive. I was willing to throw my body into the fire, and I had a sharp head on my shoulders.
Yeah.
You know? So I wasn't the most technical player, but
What made you kind of stop that?
I wanted to be an intellectual instead. I wanted to
Yeah.
be an academic. The life, yeah, it just wasn't the life that I wanted. I think that if I really set my mind to it, I could have played in the NFL. It's just,
Really?
yeah, I think so for sure. I had the right kind of mindset. I would have probably needed to learn to catch a little bit better, but I could have been a safety, no problem.
Yeah.
I could have done it. I could have gone all the way. And if I wanted to, I could have gotten good enough at soccer to do that too. But that's not what I
Wow.
wanted, right? I mean, I was playing with like Junior Olympics players
No
and
shit.
like knocking them around, you know what I mean? They
Yeah,
had
yeah.
better technique, they had better ball handling, they could jungle 100 times, but they couldn't get it past me. Not necessarily.
Man, DM Rice on the field. Oh man, I wish I would have been able to see that.
It was something to see. I wish I could still play, but I just it's been so
No,
long.
Yeah. So you were playing. That was just for like a high school time kind of thing, like.
I did it so I did track and football, American football for my middle school, and then we played a little.
Just during school, just because it's something to do during school, like.
It was a
Like,
class that I
It's
took.
not serious. Where you're trying to like.
No, I did 2-a-days at Garland and got like through one down, and I was like, "What the fuck am I doing here? I actually don't belong here. This is not right for me." And because I went to an arts magnet, it was a bunch of other like little cutesy artists who were on my
Okay.
football team, and I
Yeah.
really enjoyed that. And when I played in Rowlett, it was just like I forget what it is. It's a rec league. I
Okay.
played in a rec
Yeah.
league. I tried out for a select league, but I didn't get in because I ate some bad tuna on the day of my tryout, and I wasn't in very good enough shape, I don't think.
Okay.
And it didn't agree with me. So I played in a rec league, but my dad was my coach. And my dad, I think I've told you about this. He played on a team. They were the Dallas Chivas. And he was like the first. He's mixed race, but he was the first gringo in the Hispanic leagues in the DFW area.
Yeah.
And so he dealt with all kinds of stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Getting in, just
I
being
could imagine.
accepted.
Yeah.
In those leagues. And they were good. They played against like the sidekicks and stuff like that. Like they
Yeah,
were
yeah.
really, he was phenomenal. Like I was a kid, but he was a great player. And so he was my coach. And he coached me in soccer from around when I was like 8 to 12 or 13, maybe a little bit older than that.
Man.
8 to 15, give or take. And then I quit. And it was really disappointing to
Why?
him. Well, I quit because I wanted to focus on school. I was in the international
Okay.
baccalaureate, pipeline, and
But like.
I wanted to be an artist too. I quit to
Nothing
be
bad
to be a
happened,
writer.
they
No,
were
no,
like-
no, nothing
Okay,
bad happened.
good.
I was good. I was good, and I could have gone further, but I gave it up.
I'm trying to not react so much about how like I'm realizing right now like how close our stories are
Yeah.
just because of soccer.
No, isn't that funny?
Yeah, it's hilarious.
And you spent more time in the soccer world, but for me, I knew that I wanted to do art
Yeah.
and to be a writer. I didn't really, think that music was the whole of that, and it's still not for me. I write books, I write poetry, I
were
do
you-
all
were you-
kinds of stuff.
Were you playing? Were you doing things like during that time?
Yeah. My first
Like,
record
for
that
fun? Like
yeah,
yeah.
it was for fun. I had a little band called If Only when I was
Oh, yeah?
13. Yeah,
Only.
me and my
Oh,
friend
shit.
Dylan. You had to sigh when you
I gotta
said
make
it.
a
It had
shirt
an
now.
ellipses. If only. And we put out a record. We put out a record on CD.
Hey.
Yeah, it's called Under the Purple Tree.
Is it on the platforms?
No,
Or
no, 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 no. One of the songs I think is on one of my bonus track records, "Sleep in the Sun,"
All right.
and that was recorded when I was 13. But that's the only one that I think is available anywhere, and I'm not sure if that one is on Spotify. It might just be a Bandcamp exclusive.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I did that. We played around, and then I kind of got involved in the scene that was, or in the people who would end up doing the generator shows. And so it was kind of seamless. I started playing guitar when I was 12, around the same time that I started writing poetry. And at the time, I didn't think of poetry or music as being any different. I was really prolific. I'm still pretty prolific. But I was like writing every day, every other day.
Really?
Song, poem, song, poem.
What kind of sparked it?
I had a teacher who assigned us some like open form poetry, and I wrote about one of my very, very earliest memories. And she was really impressed with it. And I read it to the whole class, and it was like, I can see this as something that
Do you remember it?
I don't remember the whole poem. I remember what it's about. It's called The Start.
The start.
The Start. I wrote 3 poems, but the one that really sticks with me is called The Start. And it's just me describing the first memories that I have on this planet.
Oh wow.
The first thing that I remember is, the line is, I woke up in a dark, dark room. There was not much light at all. There was no sound. There was no smell. Very little from what I could tell. Just 2 figures on the bed and yellow curtains. And that's the first thing that I remember. And then I remember being, like, moved into my grandparents' house. Seemingly, I was just floating through the air into the space. And then a bunch of people come out and, you know, I think I was there for my birthday as, like, a very small child, right?
Yeah.
And people come out from nowhere, and I hear the first sound, which is the sound of my own crying voice. And that's the first thing that I ever remember hearing. And
Wow.
the third memory that I have, and I've never told this to anybody, so Tiny Talk exclusive,
Hey.
is an out-of-body experience that I had when I must have been 4 or 5 years old, of looking at myself from the clouds. I was up in the sky,
Yeah.
looking down on myself, staring over the balcony of the apartment where my parents lived in Dallas. And I remember having a conversation like, this is going to be you. You can go on now. And maybe I was just daydreaming as a little
Yeah.
kid, but it was the first thing that I remember, or one of the first memories that I ever have, is seeing myself from this out-of-body
wow.
perspective. And that's what I wrote my first poem about. And my teacher was like, this is great. You should do this. And I was like, yeah, I will. I'm going to be a poet.
Yeah.
Yes. And I've
Okay.
been doing it ever since.
Oh yeah.
And so, yeah, to your point, it's kind of hard to know, like, what is the point of it? Why do we do this? What is it? There's a lot of interesting scholarship about why we write poetry and sing music. The old Homeric epics, the Iliad and the Odyssey, were both sung.
Yeah.
Maybe someone has said that on this talk before, but poetry and music historically haven't been diametrically opposed or anything like that. It's part
Yeah.
of the same intuitive
It's the same language.
need to release, to share our stories, or to try and understand the universe, or to understand the world. For me, something happened when I was 5 years old that doesn't make any sense. I don't know why. I don't understand what that was. But I wrote about it, and it doesn't bother me anymore.
And funny enough, how writing about it, it doesn't bother you anymore about it, but it helps other people in a myriad of different circumstances.
Mhm.
Like I'm trying not to have dead air, but like when you were talking, I was like, it was hitting me all of that at the same time. I was
Yeah.
like, yeah, like all these different kind of metaphors and different kind of meanings for this, you know.
Well, and there are things that, yeah, it sounds really trite or cliche, but it's like there are fundamental questions that, like, every single day we could wake up and we would just not even get out of bed. Like, why are we alive? What is the point? Is there any purpose to all of
Well,
this?
for me, I would ask you as an artist, because like it's kind of like the theme of these interviews
Yeah.
is that I see you all as superheroes,
Sure.
and I want to get to the origin stories of your
Mm-hmm.
superpowers. But like I sometimes it almost makes me, I don't want to say mad, but like I don't have like, I wish I had the antenna that you all have,
Yeah.
songwriters out there in DFW, that like you're able to pull in these words like Y2K and the apocalypse. For me, I was like, oh my god, I was like, I've never, like, no one's ever gonna write a song about technology's mea culpa, as
Yes.
we say in Jersey.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
And what is the end of our technological advancement? Is it's going to kill us? Like, that's kind of like what the theme is. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, then the tech can't sustain it.
And but you
Interesting.
didn't write it from that perspective,
Right.
right?
Right.
I took it that way.
Mm-hmm.
Being an older person and, like, you know, seeing what 2000 was or Y2K was.
It meant something different to you.
Yeah, and oh man, I guess I say all that to ask because, like, I love getting into like where these songs come from, because, you know, you have the, I don't want to say general, but like, you know, the breakup songs or the, you know,
The types. Yes.
the types. You know, this one's for me is different.
Well, and it's different in if you like, if the pop song kind of categories were written out, you could say that there are maybe 5 or 6 of them, give or take.
And your music in general is not your typical, you know, like,
Right.
oh, breakup songs or
And it's
whatever.
really trying hard not to be.
You said
Sometimes too much. It's trying a little bit too hard to be different for the sake of being different. Sometimes.
I wouldn't say that, but okay.
My mom would say that. I think if my mom were here, she'd be like, Derek.
No, but I love it because it really drives the listener to a different place.
When it's creative in that way.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like for an artist like, say, Jokes in the Old Folks Home, or Wade Robson, where they would say, we do sad music. What would you categorize yourself, if there's a category for yourself?
Yeah, I don't know if sad
That's
is the right
perfectly
word.
valid if there's not. If you're like, you know, like,
Introspective, philosophical music, I guess. I like to think of myself as operating in the folk tradition and like the really traditional sense of the word. I make folk music first and foremost before I make sad or happy music. You can make songs that are happy or sad that have the elements of the songs that I write. You know, it's not just one feeling or another. And ideally, you want to express the full range of human emotion if you're doing music. I consider that successful artistry, or for my purposes, you know, successful, like a record. I don't just want one
you want us to
emotional
feel
tone.
everything.
I want to be able to channel everything.
Yeah.
And for a long time, my most successful record in those terms was If Only Under the Purple Tree, because it had all of the emotional range expressed. I like to think that my PhD came out and it was considered an example of like, what is it? Artists, like, practice as criticism, I think is what it was called.
Okay.
Art as kind of a critical or analytical engagement in and of itself.
Okay.
And so for my purposes, yeah, it's not intrinsically sad, but it is introspective and philosophical and literary by its nature. And because I have a background in literature and creative writing in that scope, these things bleed in. You know, in happy context and in sad context, literature, the tradition, origins, it's all kind of inextricable. Yeah.
Yeah.
I used to organize with my friend Richard, and he put his music out under a label. It was called like Sad Boys and Girls Donuts, Sad Persons Donuts, I think it is now. And that was really fun. You know, it's like a teenager. It's cool. You know, I make edgy music. I make sad, and it's true. I like that. I do like that aesthetic.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say that I don't like that aesthetic, but I don't think that that's really sufficient as a descriptor. That's all.
Yeah.
Mhm.
That makes sense. Yep. I'm looking at the time, and
I know the clock. It's always bearing down on us.
that illusion of shit.
There's a great Daniel Johnston line: "Time is a matter of fact, and it's gone, and it's never coming back." Right? And that's yeah. Any good interview, I feel like.
It's a matter of fact.
And it's
And
gone, and it's never.
it's never coming
it'll
back.
never come back. Yeah.
Shit. You heard it here, right here.
Tears, stupid tears. Go look it up.
All right, we're gonna wrap this one up because we're gonna get started with our tiny open mic. Started by DM Rice, yes.
I'd be
Yeah.
happy to play a couple.
Awesome. But one last question that I always ask everybody
Okay.
before they leave the Beehive Studio. That is your camera right over there. What is your best piece of advice? Okay, two questions. Sorry.
Sure.
First fun one. Is there anyone that you want to collaborate with in the local community that you haven't yet?
Yes, that guy Rennis out there.
Rennis Jackson.
Rennis
Yes.
Jackson. Yes,
Yeah.
I have him. Cherry picked him because there are a couple of songs on the new Fiddler record that I think his production aesthetic would work particularly well for.
Nice.
Mhm.
Tell us more about this new record.
So I'm recording a concept album that is based on Fiddler on the Roof, where I
Hey.
kind of take all of the major plot points of the movie/musical, but it's retold through the lens of folk songs that I've written myself.
Interesting.
Mhm.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
Is there a time period that you're like looking to?
I just started recording it yesterday.
So who knows, right?
So
Whenever
my-
it's ready.
my intention is to have it done in no more than 2 months. If it takes longer than
All
2
right.
months, that probably means that I'm dead or in prison because I
shit.
hate to.
Hopefully not in prison.
I hate to take too much time.
Hopefully not dead or in prison.
I hope neither of those are the case.
Yeah, hopefully neither.
But I would say no more than 2 months.
All right, sweet.
Mhm.
Man, something to look forward to. All right, then the last question that I ask people. That's your camera over there. What is your best piece of advice that you would give to your fellow DFW artist that's looking to level up, or maybe they find themselves stuck in a certain space, or
Mhm.
they want to do something different? Because you have experience in all of that. You've changed
Yeah.
genres, you've changed venues, this and that.
Yeah, I think that the best way that you can push yourself or to get out of yourself is by participating in lineups with artists that are in your scope or that you respect sincerely, or that you would want to collaborate with if that were something that you were interested in. I hate the permission structures and kind of sociable aspects. I'm not a scenester. I don't like a lot of stuff like that. There's the line in Rowlett Rap, "Fuck the scene if you know what I mean," is one of the most sincere things that I've ever written. I was way young when I wrote it, but it's been my orientation for a long time, right? I don't like that kind of stuff. But I think that if you can find, it's like the difference between good networking and bad networking, right? Build a lineup with the kind of people that you want to be involved with. If you can't get it organized through the official channels, then do it yourself, right? Organize your own shows. Put it on at somebody's house or apartment. Some of the coolest shows that I've ever done,
Shout out Lachey Fest.
that I've ever participated in as an artist or as an organizer, have been at warehouses, apartment complexes, random people's houses. Those shows, those opportunities are just as valid. And now there are opportunities, or now they're like really, really legit artists who are operating at the maximum level, who are playing living room tours, who are
Yep.
doing things in the way that I've been doing it since 2015, give or take. And so that would be my advice. Maybe it's not the advice that everybody would want to hear or use.
Well, good.
You know what I mean? But that is the way that I've done it, and I managed to develop my craft without compromising my aesthetic, which is the thing that I care about the most.
I can tell you that as someone that curates these shows, that's something that as you said is kind of prominent, where you want these shows to be the way that you want it to be.
Mm-hmm.
And I kind of gave you shit about it. I'm like, you know, you're the OG over here, and like we don't have a show for you yet. Like we have all these other shows. Really, no, I want to do it the right way.
Mm-hmm.
I want to do it the way I want to do it. And yeah, and that's what we're here for, man. We're here for it all day.
Well, that's cool. I'm glad that you
You know.
haven't been too pushy or stepped on your toes
No.
or anything like that. It's actually been a really,
Not at all,
it's been a
shit.
pleasure to be able to organize this festival here. I felt like we did a lot of really great work that day.
The ice melt, the great
Like,
ice melt.
the live record of that.
Oh.
My set is now on Spotify and stuff like that.
From that set?
Yeah,
Oh,
live
no
at Be
shit.
Hippie. I just
Wow.
released it a couple days ago.
Yes.
So you
yeah,
can
as
hear
you said,
that.
DM Rice is the first one to release any album.
Yes, any album, and now it's
from
two.
the now is two
live albums from the
two
Be
live-
Hippie stage. So live
That's
in
right.
Garland and live at Be Hippie.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, that's. I can't tell you what that means to me. My background is in soccer, right?
Yes.
So, but this kind of these pathways to achieving your dreams are pretty much the same for me.
Sure.
And the fact that I get to be along for the ride for any of it is freaking amazing. And yeah, and I'm gonna be here as long as I have air in my lungs. I'm gonna be here to do whatever I can.
Well, I appreciate
to
that.
help.
Yeah. I couldn't imagine that there would be a level of big that I could get that I wouldn't want to be able to come and hang out and, do a little pop-up set at some point. Like,
No, and the way that you've supported us, man, is been amazing. Because you really didn't have to. But as I always say, for people that are seeing DM Rice, we consider them part of the Mount Rushmore of the Tiny Stays.
well, and if I could just say one thing, thank you so much for being so respectful about my gender identity and that I'm a non-binary artist. I feel like that can be really difficult for some people, and you've been so cool about it in a
For
space where it's not necessarily expected, and I really appreciate that. Thank you.
No, we love you. So however we can, whatever we can do to love you, we're gonna do that. And I'm sorry if at times maybe it didn't seem like it was so comfortable or so natural.
Well, I appreciate you saying that.
We try, no, but we love you to death, and thank you just for freaking for everything. It's I'm almost feeling a little bad about that. We're what Tiny Talk number 38, 39, doing this now.
No, it's all good.
It should have been earlier. But this Tiny Stage thing, these tiny talks that we're having now would not have happened without you.
Well, thanks.
It would not have happened without you. And I'll say it again, it would not have happened without you. We were tasked with having some live music out here, and we tried our best, and you were one of the people that were in the roster, and you came out, and because of all that, the owner was like, this has to be a thing. And if it wasn't for you, if it wasn't for that,
That's funny. It's
I
hard.
wouldn't be here right now talking to you.
It's hard for me to even imagine that Johnny Appleweed knows who I am. It's silly to think that,
does.
but
He does. I'm telling you, he does. That I will never forget. We were sitting there after that open mic, It was a Friday and Saturday. We had
Yeah.
we had. I was terrified about having an open mic over here without having artists to actually perform. So we had some featured artists. One of them was DM Rice, along with JM Solis,
Hmm.
Mia Potter, Archive, and it was a Friday and Saturday. And it was from that weekend that Johnny Appleweed saw it, and he was like, "This has to be a thing."
Cool.
So if it wasn't for that, yeah, I might not be here right now. Shit, I might not be here right now. Period. But that's a different tiny talk.
Well, until next time, yeah.
No, but thank you so much for being here.
Thanks for having
and
me.
We're gonna kick off our open mic over here with DM Rice and whoever else shows up. Who knows? No, but thank you for everything. Know that this is your stage. This is your studio. Anything that you ever need, you just let us know.
Sure.
We got you. And thank you for releasing the first albums, EPs, straight out of the tiny stage.
Happy to make that
Is it-
correction. Sorry,
Big shout out-
Austin.
big shout
Sorry,
out-
Austin, for being late.
Big shout out for Jokes in the Old Folk Zone, though. He has the first EP at least
Yeah, definitely.
live at the tiny stage, out everywhere right now. But no, thank you so much. We love you,
The feeling's mutual. Love you too, Carlos.
and yeah, shit. We're gonna end this so we can do some music.